incorrect. Override denied. Your password is incorrect. Override denied. Program activated.
Welcome to another Username Nerd podcast. My name is Mike Hewitt, and with me all... Are you going to finish
with
it?
me always.
My brother.
It's like we're finishing each
in
other's
real life, in sentences.
hamburgers.
Hamburgers.
Oh.
What's that? What?
I'm Tim Hewitt.
Tim Hewitt.
That was the worst ever.
And with us, we have... Oh, please don't. I can't mess your name up.
Jashin
No, almost said
Lynn.
Jashin. Josh and Lynn. I knew that. And then Ben
Watson.
Nope.
Watkins. Gosh, dang it.
She threw you off.
The
She fed you the wrong line.
Anxiety.
Josh,
You know what? You know what? At least you got your name right, and that's really
You
the
got
best
your
that
own
we
name
can
right. Good job, you.
I'm just out. I'm out. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay,
And your
Mickey.
wife
You can
Melissa.
stay.
And your name's really the easiest name to know.
It's Josh
Joshin.
and in.
Joshin.
Joshin.
Like I'm joshing
I'm
around.
just joshing
Joshing
around.
around.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
It's okay.
Does that bring back bad memories of schooling?
It's the very first person who ever made that joke to me was a very tall, very scary football coach in Texas.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
10 years old.
We could just go and talk about bullies and high school.
No,
and-
we had an agenda today.
Okay,
Let's stick to
because Hewitt. Did you get Hewitt's Pewitt?
it. No.
I did. What in the?
I got.
This is bringing up bad memories. Okay, what was the topic? This is driving you nuts.
You're the one. You're the one who had the topic.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
You want to talk about comic versus tragedy?
we are back with you guys. Brass Engine. I'm going to do this right. And Brass Engine Productions.
Correct.
Go ahead and tell us about your YouTube channels.
We have a YouTube channel, Brass Engine Productions,
Mhm.
and we have lots of different stuff on there. We do different comedy videos, and we do some short films that we've created for competitions.
A few
Um,
cosplay convention videos.
some cosplay convention videos, and just sort of a variety of content for people to enjoy. And it's still a small channel, but we're building our content, and we're I mean, you guys are sitting in our studio right now, so you can see that we're getting ready to ramp things up and really start releasing some content.
Wait, you.
As I mess your guys, how do we have so many users? How do we have so many listeners? I don't
I
know.
ask myself that.
Oh,
every
okay.
day.
Sorry.
You guys have done cosplay videos for like conventions.
Some of
and
the
stuff?
some of the conventions that we've been to, they have either asked
You
us
haven't seen
to
those.
or we've just done it ourselves.
Gotcha.
It's usually me, Dustin, and Kristen going around with our respective cameras, filming really cool cosplayers, asking them to do funny little skits, that kind of thing. And then either Ben or me edits them down into a music video.
Yeah.
In our early experiences with conventions, it was easier for me to get into the convention and make things a little more financially easy by asking for some free passes. If I said, "Hey, I'll make a video and put it on my YouTube," and we'll do some panels, and we'll do a steampunk ball, and we'll bring all this programming and stuff, and we'll do photography, that brings attention to the con, and I'm very lucky that the 3 or 4 cons that we do on a regular basis, I've become very good friends with the people that run those conventions, and so now we just basically do the same deal every time, and I try to bring new content every time and try to adjust things to bring more people in, and those conventions are like Anime St. Louis and CosplayCon in Jefferson City, Missouri, DodecaCon in Columbia, Missouri, and most recently TopCon in Topeka, Kansas. We've become very good friends with them, and are partnering up with them again
You've
this
done
fall.
Planet Comic Con multiple times too.
Yeah.
They're
I
bigger,
didn't-
so it's a little different.
Right. With Planet Comic Con, we sign up as a fan group, and we do still pay for our passes. They are gracious enough to give us a very big discount on our passes, but we do still pay for the passes, and it's a bit of a different atmosphere. We don't necessarily
Stop playing
do.
with your cord.
It's not going to affect anything.
Stop playing with your cord.
We aren't obligated to do
We'll edit
cosplay
that out.
videos,
We're
but
not gonna edit that out.
we're not obligated to do a cosplay video for Planet Comic Con, but sometimes we like to do a little bit just because it's fun.
And
you
it's
know.
it draws in views.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it
the
gets people watching.
Cosmocon, with the Palpatine interview.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
really
did see that one.
enjoyed. And the Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
impersonator.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Gosh,
really
that
good.
guy was
From- oh my
incredible.
goodness, Yeah. We watched it, I don't know how many times. We're like, come here, Eli, watch this. Because we just watched Back to the Future with him.
Okay, so back to those 4 videos. I love those 4 videos. There's like 2 drama ones. There's 3 words and
Only one way.
Only one way. And then there is bathroom. No,
Bathrobe ninjas.
bathroom.
And
Not bathroom ninjas.
Bathroom Ninjas sounds awesome, though.
That should be a
I'm going
sequel.
I'm going to steal that, and I'm going to make a short film about it, and then you're going to love the crap out of it.
I love it.
Actually, there is a sequel for Bathrobe Ninjas in the works. It's called The Quest for the Secret Elixir, where the 2 bathrobe ninjas are trying to get to the liquor store because they've run out, but they can't drive because they're drunk, and so they have to call an Uber driver, and and you get the whole imagination thing going. So it's going to be a crazy time once we can get that filmed.
So, which ones do you like? There's the drama ones, and then there's comedies. It seems like you're talking about the comedies, like it is your
Bread and butter?
no, your favorite child. Our kids aren't listening to this, right? We don't have a favorite child. Shh, no. But it's, you know what I'm saying? It feels like the 2 drama ones. You kind of, I don't want to say.
They can be more draining.
Okay.
It's a different kind of challenge. I don't do a lot of drama because it's not something that I immerse myself in and enjoy on a regular basis. I tend to go towards comedies, action, pulp, and sci-fi and fantasy, and drama is one of those things where if there's drama in a movie, it doesn't bother me so much because I love the depth of character. But to do an entire short film around drama, it is a very different kind of challenge for me personally. Whenever we were doing 3 words, in order to access what I needed to explain to the actors what it's like to have one of your best friends die, and that's, to have to recall from my memory a best friend that has passed away, that not only was immersed with me in a lot of my fandoms, but also shared my name, and we lived in close proximity, and he was one of the best friends I've ever had. And to be able, and to have to get yourself into that and explain to someone else what it's like to know that grief so that they can portray that on film was very challenging. As much it was a challenge for me as it was for them. Just watching my friends look at me while I'm trying to explain to them and tearing up on my own. And then they're just like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay, but this is what we need to do. This is what you need to think about,
Because honestly, out of all, that is my favorite one. 3 words is my favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I
did not expect that.
It was the first one he showed me.
I watched that and I was like, holy cow, this is good.
Did you actually get what it was about?
I
I know
have
it's up for
theories.
interpretation.
We
but
had many theories.
I would love to hear your theory.
So I watched it through, and I don't know if I saw anything else. I think that morning, our kids just jump into bed with us, and since we are people in the 20th century, we don't have cable TV or anything else. We have YouTube, and we just watch our channels and everything else. And I've been trying to catch up with your guys' stuff, and so we had stuff, and I think it was Bathroom Ninjas. So that's where I was at. It's a very fun comedy. My kid loved. Did I say Bathroom Ninjas again?
You did.
Bathrobe Ninjas.
Bathrobes.
You really
Bathrobes.
were pushing for that.
No, I should. Yes. I know in the future there's going to be one. So, and he loves it. And so then that night I put on 3 words, and I was expecting, something different. I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was like, get in here. We got to watch this. And I just fell in love with it. I don't know what it is. It was beautifully shot. It was very emotional. It was so in depth, and I felt like it had something drastically deep behind it, I guess. Now we watched it and we're like, whoa, and I'm like, 3 words. I'm trying to figure out what 3 words is. My theory is I love you.
Okay.
You're not gonna
Did
tell
you-
me the right or wrong answer?
So
Art is communication.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't. I need to know.
the film can be interpreted in many ways, but the way that it was written is
Do we want
The-
to spoil this
Yeah,
for the
don't-
whole
don't,
audience? Because they
spoil it
might.
for
Hold
the
on.
podcasters.
Don't put
Hold
me in
on,
a
I'm
corner
pausing
here.
it. I'll
'Cause-
just pause it.
the 3 words that were written for the film that we based everything on is the spoiler. It is what happened to these people and what they're experiencing. It's the
Gotcha.
reason for
So-
what they're experiencing.
So it's not necessarily these 3 words are the result of the video, but it's these 3 words inspired the video or
It's
led to.
the 3 words is the single fact of what is going on in their lives, that because part of the film is supposed to represent people not being able to talk about their feelings and having a really hard time. Your lead character doesn't really talk much. You know, he
Yeah.
seems very inward and he's having some kind of issue. And then his roommate is trying to talk to him about something very emotional, but you're not sure what it is because he can't get it out. He can't just straight up say what happened.
Right.
And then you have the girl at the end who is very distraught, and she can't just straight up,
Sorry.
and she also can't just straight up tell him, you know, or talk about what happened.
Yeah.
And it does have to do with death. If you look closely, and I know you're going to watch it again now,
Okay.
but if you look closely when the lead character's walking down the street,
There's
there
a
is-
cross.
right in
Yeah.
the background, and it's supposed to be a little bit of a hint. And also, if you look at the framing, if you look at the way he's framed versus the way that she's framed in a shot, and every time he's in a shot, there's an empty space next to him on one side,
Oh,
and it's
that's
always the
interesting.
same side.
Yeah, I never noticed.
And I
that.
know you're going to go back and watch that now and look for that. And also at the very end, the pictures on the cell phone can give
Yes.
you some clues because there's an
I
extra
did watch that like 3 times.
because there's another person there that you don't see anywhere else.
Right. And I didn't mean to laugh when you said that some people don't. I share my feelings. I am the most open book person. Too
Oh my
much.
goodness, I can't get him to shut up sometimes.
So I guess maybe that is why yeah. But so when he's walking down the street, I know he sees the cross, and she turns around because I feel like she sees that he sees the cross, and knows, and walks away. And we should just watch it and what do you call that? Commentary
A
reel it.
react video?
Commentary reel it. So
Yeah.
but I mean, when he's walking away, did you meant for him to see the cross? I mean, because it looked like he saw the cross and understands and knows.
When I was directing Larry, he was not to know.
Okay.
He was to see it, but to not know. If you also catch a detail at the very beginning of the film, the pills that he's taking.
Yes.
If you read the label has to do with what he's experiencing on the label of the pills. It's just very, very small details that if you miss, and that was, for me as a director, that was my challenge, was telling a story visually and giving you enough that you could figure it out, but it didn't quite come together enough that everybody got it. But now I look back on it and I go, that's okay, because now people can look at it and just interpret it the way they want to and get out of it whatever it is that they need to get out of it. Not necessarily what I always intend for them to get out of it, but just that it's a real human story based on experiences that I've had.
But they'll layer their
very-
own experiences over
Very
it.
J.J. Abrams of you.
Thank you. I like JJ.
The smoke monster doesn't exist.
Yes.
I'm actually curious
Do
as
you find it's easier to do comedy, or what do you attract to naturally the most? You would say.
I
Okay,
attract myself to comedy very naturally.
One last thing on
We
that
mentioned it in the steampunk video, but no matter how serious our writer would take the scripts, Ben would end up injecting cheesy jokes into it. No matter what Joe did,
There was no comic relief, so I just did it
Ben
myself.
would put his own
Some
twist.
Vanna White. jokes?
Well, no, he
just
would
kidding.
he would either rewrite on the fly, and that's another part of the filmmaking process. Some productions do it more than others, but there's always revisions going on the set. But anyway, so Ben would just be like, wouldn't it be cool if I did this, or this would be hilarious if he did this instead, or somebody would make a joke at the end of the scene or something. It's
I like the scene between Judge and Lady Jade, which
yes,
are
that
our
was
characters.
improvised.
The scene where we had to go and talk to J.P. Morgan, and he had this big long spiel about what's going on in the world and very exposition. Here's everything the audience needs to know. And I talked to
It's
Jashin about it, and I said, we
boring.
need to make this more interesting. So I'm just going to start playing with things on set, and I want you to be mad about it. Like, and
So
she's like,
it-
oh, no, I can do that. And so I just start kind of playing with things, and she's just like, stop it.
Well, this is episode 2, so none of the characters had been really established much. So that was a little sequence that tells the audience more about who the characters are and what their relationship is to each other. And meanwhile, these other characters are being super serious about the end of the world and whatever. And then here's Judge and Lady Jade basically having this silent argument this entire time.
Who you would think would be the more serious characters of everybody there. A monster hunter who is not supposed to be very social, but, he got really bored. So what would he do? He would do anything to get out of it. So what does that mean? Oh, I'm just going to start playing with things until we leave because I'm not going to listen to this garbage.
He's a desert dwelling, uncivilized cowboy in a rich man's mansion.
In every way.
In every way.
Right. But yeah, so it's not the divide between comedy and drama is not a solid divide anyway.
Yeah.
With us.
No, not necessarily. I like the straight up comedy videos, like the Google Auto Poetry stuff that we do. It's just silly, it's fun. It gets it out there. But then like Ghost Dudes series that we're working on coming soon. We've already filmed an entire episode. I've put out some promotionals for it, and I'm trying to get some time to do some editing for it. But it's not just straight up comedy. It's something different. And it's something that I hadn't approached before, but we were trying. And I described a little bit before that it's about people with larger than life personalities, and that doesn't really mean slapstick. It can involve things that might be either slightly uncomfortable or could have sequences that you would consider dramatic, where people are just really angry at each other or really emotional towards each other in some other way, but the situation kind of is funny because you can relate to it, or because the scene will get heated and then it'll end with just sort of a oh well, or just something that happens that kind of gives you that lighter mood where it's not just always doom and gloom.
To diffuse that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And the complete doom and gloom, like 3 words, was really, really hard for me. It was a challenge, but it was a challenge that I'm really glad that I did.
Okay. Real quick to the yes. We'll I need to talk a little bit more about 3 words and we're done.
Okay.
So my thing of thinking of this was the pictures at the end of the thing. It looked like it was taken in a car. It looks like he was taking it. He was the driver.
Yep.
And because of that, it looks like he caused an accident, and that was probably what killed his friend.
Yes.
And that's probably what spinned him into not being able to remember and going into that as well. So, yes. Okay.
I just mouthed the 3 words at Mike
Gotcha.
so that he knew what the 3 words were.
And
That
yes.
nobody could say to him. Nobody could tell him that's what it was.
Okay.
Now you get it?
I get it now. Okay.
It's so meaningful now.
Okay, gotcha. I like it. Yeah.
Okay, so that was
He's
your
thinking about it.
whole point, right? To come here, interview them, find
that
out
was it.
facts,
We can
and
leave now.
all
So
that.
thank you.
Okay, bye.
I wasn't leaving without the answer. Yeah. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
He's just thinking about it now.
Yeah, now he's. The rest of the podcast will just be Mike in deep thought.
Yeah, well, and when you thought they were I love you, I'm like, no, I don't. I saw parts of it because I was off kind of doing things and stuff, but I didn't think it had anything to do with that. I thought
Gotcha.
more of
Well, don't give it
along the
away.
lines-
Oh, you suckers.
You
out there.
guys, everybody listening is just gonna have to check it out.
Yes. So yes.
And everybody
definitely.
listening should comment what do you
What they
think?
think
What do you think the three words are?
exactly.
What do you think the three words are?
Yes. Yes, I love it. Okay, so the other real quick thing before we get on to some other topics, the Google poetry one.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I saw that and I'm like, I don't know. It was like, and then I clicked on it and I found it very funny. So
Thank you.
do something with the thumbnails because I don't know why I'm like, yeah. And when I clicked on it, I was like, this is great. So I don't know, but just to let you don't have to take my criticism at all. I'm just saying
No, I
it's
really
much
enjoyed
better.
The Google poetry also. That was another thing that I really laughed at.
She laughed at too. I'm very shocked. So
enjoyed.
yeah. So
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed those.
yeah. So I hope more people should click on those. Okay. So let's go to some other
Shift
topics.
gears a little bit.
I think one of the we were going to talk about all kinds of different things. There's a bunch of new movies coming up, and so I entered and injected the question: what is the nerdiest thing you guys do? And that gave that alone just stopped the whole table. So
I
let's
think
talk about
Jashin
that.
should go first.
Yes.
Okay, so the answer that I usually give is to Muggles is
What am I?
It's-
I'm just kidding.
Steamworks and Shadows because very few people have taken their hobbies to the point of actually making an entire film production, writing an entire character and acting that entire character and editing and devoting an entire 2 years to the thing. So,
Uh-huh.
but Ben over here is like, I don't know if that qualifies as nerdy. That might just be like a hobby.
That's not what I said.
Yeah,
I
you
said
were
how do
skeptical.
you how do you rank the nerdiest thing?
Yeah. So okay.
How do you define what that is?
I'm
And
gonna go get
for
some water.
and
Right. So if we're disqualifying that, then I would have to say the thing that is most stigmatized, that people most look sideways at or know very little about, the most obscure thing I do is I write fan fiction. And it's fairly I specialize in crack fics. So that's stuff that's based on an extremely deeply silly premise, or AUs, alternate universes, where I transplant familiar characters into entirely different universes. And what I am writing now is Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and Anne McCaffrey's Crystal Singer AU, and the primary relationship in it is Poe, Finn, and Rey. And so it's polyamory
nerd.
and crystal and a science fiction writer from the 70s and Star Wars all rolled up together into one fic, and I am getting notes on Tumblr like hotcakes. So evidently I
Really?
have filled a niche.
Really?
I think like there are people commenting like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I needed this." So
That was
just
my next question.
saying.
So it is on Tumblr.
yes,
Okay.
it is on Tumblr. I'm not telling you people anything more than that.
Oh.
I tend to keep things compartmentalized.
Okay.
So
That's
N-
probably-
nerdiest thing I've ever done. I don't think I can define it because everything I do is nerdy. My life is nerdy. I am white and nerdy, as Weird Al would say. I mean, when I was in high school, Weird Al was my favorite musical artist.
he almost
So if
has
you-
Albuquerque memorized, word for word, almost.
If you
That
wanna,
doesn't pin down your age at all.
no, it doesn't.
Because you could have been that's 80s. That could have been this year.
But the table that we're sitting at is a collage of Captain America and Marvel comics made to look like a Captain America shield that I built. And I don't really consider that all that nerdy. That's just another thing that I made.
Yeah.
But if you want to
think
go
it's
back
kinda
far
cool.
enough, if you want to delve into my past,
Mhm.
the nerdiest thing that I can think of was in my preteen years, I would create music videos for Weird Al songs with a VHS camcorder, and no one has seen these except for my wife,
Even-
and no one will.
Even I did not know that. I knew
Nope,
about
you didn't know that.
the Star Wars fan film. I did not know about.
Because the Star Wars fan film is eclipsed by the Weird Al music videos, especially things like, and it was all from Bad Hair Day. So it's songs like Fat, you know, a kid that's stuffed a pillow up his shirt that dances around in front of mom's camera, you know. I would say that's probably the nerdiest thing I've ever
So
done.
this is the Star Wars Christmas special. It's never going to see the light of day.
No, that would be my first Star Wars fan film. That's never going to see the light of day. I still have copies of it, but it's let's put it this way. I filmed it on a VHS camcorder.
Mm-hmm.
I directed, acted in it, edited it, and I
Did the
I wrote it.
rotoscoping.
I did everything for it, even rotoscoping. I broke down everything frame by frame, and I painted the lightsabers on, which actually is a pretty cool effect. I actually did it quite accurately.
How old
But-
were you when you did this?
Whoa. I bet I can guess your age by just what you've said. I'm trying to pin it in my head. What you said.
VHS camcorders.
VHS. There's Fat from Bad.
Yeah.
So he's a kid there. So you were a kid in the 80s at least.
Okay.
Older than you, because you would have
Sure.
been too young for that.
Wait,
I'm,
well, how old
I'm
is Tim?
31, but
I'm saying you're about
Between 25 and 45.
yes, 25 and 40, between 25 and 40. I'm just kidding.
That's a really
30,
wide.
I'm going to say 36 or 7. I'm going to go with 36.
I'm insulted. That is dead wrong.
You
Yeah,
are
Dead wrong.
You are 22. I don't know.
I'm very flattered.
I don't know.
I'm the same age as Tim.
I was gonna say,
You're
he doesn't look
31?
like
I'm
that
31.
Snap. What now?
that old, but you're
1984.
just trying to go off of what he's saying, not
84.
1984.
I
So
love
now
I-
the
I
fun
got- I got
game
to know
is
Weird
guessing
Al
how
in the
old I
90s.
am.
Huh? But Fat wasn't in the. Okay, I could see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Bought it
gotta-
on cassette.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
And-
how old were you when you made the Star Wars fan film?
It is sad that he got insulted, and it was still younger than what I am right now. Aw, I'm
I
old.
made the first Star Wars
No,
fan
I'm just
film in 2001.
Okay, don't make me.
So
do
that was
math.
only
Come on, man.
I was
Come on,
16.
man.
I was
Come
16.
on. That's really impressive for 16.
Yeah, I was 16. I had a Windows XP computer with Pinnacle Studios, and I had Adobe Premiere 6.0, or maybe it was 5.0. It was before Creative
Uh-huh.
Suite, and you break it down into a film strip,
make
and then you
commercials then.
import it into Photoshop. And then
Mhm.
Photoshop, you see all the frames, and then you paint all the frames, and then you put it
Takes
back into Premiere.
ever
Oh,
to
yes.
render.
Yes, takes forever. And the final rendering was on a Super Video CD because we didn't have a DVD burner; they were too
wow.
expensive. And I even printed my own art for my DVD case, and I did the photoshopping for a little poster thing.
Mhm.
I would be tempted to just show you the case, but I won't show you the movie.
Okay.
Just so you could see like my mad Photoshop skills when I was 16. No, they was terrible. It was terrible.
What's the nerdiest thing you've ever done?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know this was going to turn around onto me.
I'm trying to think of the nerdiest
If I had
thing.
to pick, probably like maybe not of all time, but currently, I would say I really enjoy Sid Meier's Civilization. Very long, lengthy, turn-based strategy
Which
games.
version?
All of them, really. Any of them.
I could tell you that's not the nerdiest thing.
And
you've
I
done.
will. I will like. well, But
I'm
I
sorry.
love to space it out for months, to where it'll take months to finish the game, and
There's a little
All right,
game,
well,
Minecraft. Do you guys
Yeah.
know Minecraft?
Yes.
oh yeah.
There was one time he's like, you got to see this, and it is this
Okay, no.
massive amount of work
Mhm.
being done, and I'm like, Tim, we gotta go out, and do
Uh,
something, or
yeah,
meet
well-
some friends.
well,
There's,
no,
there's this
okay.
thing that they've made. It's called beer. Other people like to
Oh,
drink
golly.
it.
Yeah, hey, we
Well,
need.
and so what happens is everyone is like, hey, we're all gonna join this world. We're all gonna create things, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, all of a sudden, I'm the only one in the world. Everyone is ditched,
Dude, and I know how long it takes
I'm
to
trying
make
to
stuff.
show people stuff,
And this is anyways.
It
so,
was.
it was.
But that's Minecraft. I fall unhealthily into Minecraft for like a month and a half, and then I get out of it
Yeah,
for like
so.
3 months. and-
I have a parallel to that. I created a forum-based superhero RPG and created the world from the ground up, like you would in Minecraft, block by block, and made all this and created a story with episodes, and people would write very comic book style prose about these superheroes, and then everybody just left.
Oh man!
But it
After
was
all that
still really
work.
cool. It was a fun time, and that's another nerdy thing I guess I did. I wrote about characters and did role play online via forums.
yes.
Text-based role-playing message boards.
Nerd.
Just role-playing messaging. I've created
I've
programs to
been-
do that.
Mike, what's your nerdiest?
Well, before we do that,
Oh, man.
Let's talk
Classic
about-
diversion.
let's talk about what is this? The question: what is your nerdiest thing? What does that mean? Is it because it's nerdy from other people?
I was defining it in the context of
Your
nerdiness is
Like, what would other people be ashamed to see you
what
do?
is the most obscure, the most technical, the most stigmatized? Yes, because, I mean,
Isn't geeky more technical? Nerdy is more passionate.
geeky
In my mind.
is more technical. Nerdy implies an element of personality as well, and the fact that I know the difference means I'm a nerd. So the nerdiest thing I've done means that it's not only obscure and not only technical, but also within the culture that I'm in, it's considered nerdy.
Because I mean, literally,
Or it's considered abnormal.
if you
in
guys
some
want,
way.
I could talk to you. In programming, I could talk to you.
Like what?
Programming 4
The
hours.
greatest programming feat
But
that you've ever
then-
performed.
he made a calculator. That was it.
Out of what?
That's the best he's ever done.
Like
no.
a physical calculator?
No. That's,
Like if someone told, like if you had created a calculator in Minecraft or something.
no.
which-
he made a clock.
I
I made a heart.
made a heart in Minecraft. That's the thing. I can never talk to anybody about programming. That's just my job. I mean, the last 4 jobs. I love going to work and just I can just program for hours and just yeah. Anyways, and I think that's the one. Maybe that's the nerdiest thing, but
I would say
that's a
pretty
job.
close. But it's
No, I'd
still,
say
I
that's
would say
geeky.
that's your.
It's
Yeah.
geeky. It's
That's
more
geeky.
geeky than nerdy.
Yeah.
But man, I but even though because I love it so much. Okay, so nerdy, passionate.
How about
While you're
collecting?
thinking about that, I will say that you being a programmer, sometimes you come home and you're like giving me commands, and I'm
That's
not.
the other thing. Yes, when you're in code for 8 hours, you get very logical, and so there's
and
no
when
emotion.
I don't,
And I'm just like, do this, this, this,
do
this.
Exactly how you are.
If this happens, do this, and if this happens, do that.
No,
and then
I
I
have
get
it then.
very.
I have
it's-
it then.
There's an actual.
I know exactly what yours is.
Oh man,
You
there's too many. It's
tried
just-
to automate your house to the point where when it's time for the kids to go to bed, the lights flash on and off. You
True.
have to take out your trash on a certain day, and what will happen
Oh.
is
You
his
will get a
phone.
text, yeah,
somebody
I'll get
will
a text.
text him. A computer, I guess, will text him saying, "Hey, don't forget to take out your trash."
No, but he also has it in the program that it texts me. Reminder.
Okay,
love you
yes.
to
That
take
is
Okay, so
pretty
here.
darn
trash.
nerdy.
This
That
is the thing I did. So, we have a loving, wonderful marriage, and we don't fight very often because we're both super ADD and we can't stay mad at each other because we forget. But we had a fight one night, and it was about
Secret.
taking out the trash. The secret is being
Pretend
ADD. And taking out the trash, and I'm like, fine. And I said, I will create a robot to tell me that. And I created a smart system that took in everything. It took in where I'm at all times. It takes in our house. I have created a smart house, and it takes in all my food content, all my exercise. What else?
He's more machine than man.
Dude, why are you
Nerd.
podcasting? How have you not monetized
And
this by
then
now?
I know they've told me.
Anniversaries,
And then
birthdays,
what it's done
holidays.
is it tells me, anniversaries, holidays. I can have it text her or like randomly, and she'll be like, "Oh, that was such a sweet text," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, good, bot. Thank you very much." And
I
like,
see how.
if you do something like if I don't go to the gym because it's constantly tracking me where I'm at, if I don't go to the gym, it'll say you haven't been to the gym in 3 days, and then it'll get worse and worse and more
Hey,
belligerent.
fatty, go to the gym.
How,
Yes.
How are you not pushing this at every VC
I know.
you come
I
across?
don't know.
Seriously.
I have a name for it. HappyLifeHappyWife.exe.
Okay, happy wife. I like this. Now, if you produce
Work on your elevator pitch.
bathroom ninjas, and I will do happy wife, happy life. I love this. So yeah, maybe that.
Yeah,
but then
I would say
there's-
that's definitely it.
But shoot, man.
Either that or your Stormtrooper
D&D,
collection, 'cause-
Stormtrooper collection.
Which I
Your-
love how his
What was your
favorite-
basement of Forgotten
Forgotten
Dreams or whatever?
Yeah.
I have a bass guitar, a drum, acoustic guitar, a
we had
piano,
We had Warhammer figurines. We had
Warhammer
Magic
figurines,
cards, we had
magic cards.
just every hobby ever.
It's
We've
the
tried
food
it and
dreams.
abandoned it.
I saw a Star Wars role-playing game. Sorry, not to be nosy, on the way in, and we played that.
Yeah, we didn't
Finish it.
like it. We really like certain things about it, like the
The dice system was very
yeah.
well done, but
It
it's
just
such a
felt-
different world than D&D.
You're talking about the new Fantasy Flight Star Wars?
yeah. That's
Okay,
the old.
I'm
you
on the
have old
D20.
one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm on the D20.
Yeah, we were talking about the new one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you have
Yeah.
like the Force dice and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't play that one.
Even in Star Wars, I love Star Wars. I love stormtroopers. I don't know why, and he thinks I'm crazy because that's
Well,
the
yeah.
most
Uh,
not what is it?
bland. That's
the most bland
character
character in the
Star
world.
Wars.
But I absolutely love him.
And you identify with the
Blandest.
unseen
Yeah,
background characters. So
He's a programmer.
yeah,
that makes
Oh,
sense, right? Yeah. Actually, I would say
But
for
in-
you and me, it has to change to D&D because anytime I bring that up to anybody,
Mhm.
hey, I used to play D&D or I've played D&D, I just get weird looks and pushed out to the edges of society. It's
in,
Really?
in cosplay.
definitely the worst thing I think that people
I would say
view.
tabletop roleplay is still probably the most misunderstood out of because of all the scares in the 80s and 90s. I
it's
know,
just
I know.
crazy,
There
right?
is a
I
newer
know.
generation.
Hanks.
But
you
yeah,
wouldn't know. You were too young.
cosplay is more mainstream. Like more and more people are doing cosplay. Even fan fiction is going mainstream, or at least
Yes.
fandom culture is going more mainstream to an extent. But tabletop still remains a little more insular
Mhm.
because it is more difficult to get into. You need to have a group. You need to spend all this money on books and dice. You need to create the world.
I guess I just run in weird communities because
do.
because like everywhere I go, it's like, oh yeah, and we're playing D&D 5 or whatever.
Because
And
you only associate with nerds, Ben.
well, I like to associate with people that actually understand me.
But also in a world where you can get many of those same aspects in a console, where it's just time after time you can get worlds that are created for you and everything else. It seems almost
more
strange
work.
for people. Yeah, they're like, why wouldn't you just buy a game?
But that's
and play
just
it on
that's
Xbox
me.
rather than
I
this-
love playing board games. I like being in a group. I like going out to watch movies with people, not in and like my kids, they want to sit there with their iPad, and I'm like, no, we're all watching it. I will watch your cartoon, but we're watching as a group,
Yeah,
even if I
whatever.
have to suffer. And
Whatever, old
this
man.
guy, old man, but yes. So yeah, you guys' theory on communal
do you
rather
think
than.
do you think technology's
Do
killing?
you think he's
social-
right or I'm right? No, I'm
Nope.
just kidding.
Nope.
Wait,
Yeah,
but
No, I
agree.
don't think
I'm
technology
very,
is
very, very
killing.
anti that attitude that technology is
Yeah.
killing socializing, because like when people complain about people being on phones in public, what do you think they're doing on their phones? They're communicating with other people when they're on their phones. Like if I'm on my phone, I am probably talking to my friend in New Zealand at that point, or my friend in England or something. Like technology has enabled people to connect in ways that were not previously possible, and has enabled, for example, a lot of introverts who did not fit in an extrovert-oriented society. It has enabled them to communicate in a way that is more comfortable for them.
Oh yeah.
And just because generationally people don't understand what the new kids are doing, they automatically dislike it. But it's I really like that and that meme where anytime somebody starts complaining about technology and social media and kids these days, somebody else flashes up this picture of a dude going blah blah blah, technology's bad and scary and Edison was a witch. Because technology progresses, you just have to
Yeah.
deal
I
with
think
it.
There's-
both. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's a big difference between what Jashin is saying and maybe there is a negative aspect to it that it is a really great communication tool to use, but in a situation where you're one-on-one with somebody and we're having a conversation and then there's a
and they just instantly
and then I
go,
just
yeah.
look down and all of a sudden I've abandoned you
Mhm.
for whatever my phone is doing. And
but that's not the technology.
Is that
Etiquette
technology's
has
fault?
to spring up around new technology
Yes.
every
Yeah.
time. Like
Sure.
it's not inherent to the technology. So like that person is exercising bad technology etiquette.
What? I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone.
This guy.
What,
He has bad etiquette.
Yeah.
Back to technology.
Right.
Sorry.
So you just all you really have to do is shift the social norms around it.
I didn't say it was the technology's fault,
Sure,
but it's
sure.
but it's a
it's
you know, it,
humanity's fault still.
there is support for technology being addictive, and there is support for psychological trauma to a person that seems connected to so many people but feels even lonelier than without that technology.
I completely agree with you.
You
But
pointed to Jashin.
I'm sorry, I bet Josh. I completely agree with you, but I also think because the reason why we have a billion Comic-Cons, I mean, you think about it, you could go to one almost every, just within driving distance, you can go to one every, every week. The word week. Every week. And because we have all the technology, the nerd culture is so popular now because you used to be able not to connect with these people. Now you can find them everywhere, and it's but then also there's got to be, I think most of the times, yes, but there is something to sitting down and playing a board game or sitting down in the same room and
But here's the thing, like
watching a
people
movie together.
lament that these activities are declining somehow. I have not seen any actual evidence
I don't think
that
they are.
board
You're
game
right.
nights are declining.
no,
and
no,
it's definitely not because of technology,
Yeah.
because all of us have smartphones, but I have a group of people that come over every
Right.
week, or sometimes not every week, but we get together and we play games. And
I also think that maybe because of the technology, we are so immersed in our phones that we want to pull back sometime
And make a board
and
game.
make
Like
a
it
board
is
game.
I agree that it is possible to be too addicted. It's possible to be rude with phones. Like I have to consciously step back from my phone and try to counteract some of those addictive habits I can sense in myself and all of that stuff. But that sort of broad generalizing, lamenting kids these days kind of attitude always irritates me because it's
yeah, I
usually
think that's incorrect. Yeah, I mean, in
Yeah.
favor of you, I think that saying, oh, all these kids
Yes.
are just,
right.
I think what spurred this back to is we were talking about D&D and how some people's like, why do you guys get together? There's computer games for that. But these are people that are not necessarily in our culture. I think those are more people that you're trying to explain. Those are the people that are going to the ball games, not
Yeah,
baseball, because
to,
baseball's a
the
nerdy sport.
basketball
Oh come on, there are
tournament.
nerds
basketball.
that play D&D and go to sport games.
It's true. I
True.
know. Yes,
So
baseball.
I think
But
there
that's-
are going to be people that will never ever play a tabletop RPG ever. They're just not
True.
temperamentally suited or interested.
Yes.
So I think a lot of those people that can't wrap their minds around a tabletop RPG, they're just never going to play it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
my
true.
opinion is that tabletop RPGs are for storytellers.
Yes.
Everybody that plays one is a storyteller. Not everybody that plays a video game is a storyteller.
Yes.
They love to listen to the story. They love to experience a story that someone else is telling. They are a listener. And a storyteller, can take command of their character and want to be in a world or want to create worlds. And tabletop RPGs give you that opportunity. Video games, yeah, it's all set up for you. And that's great for people that love to listen to the storytellers. But, the people that I have in my small circle of friends and myself, we are storytellers. And so, playing tabletop RPGs is natural for us because we tell stories on film. We tell stories in writing. Everything we do is about telling other people's stories. And, where would we be if there wasn't anybody that wanted to listen to those stories?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're.
it's kind of the same outlet with us with podcasting. Is like the reason we do this is because we enjoy the act of telling the story, whether someone listens or not.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know what I mean? We're gonna do it anyway.
It's fun, and like this, we're in the same room. See, that's where I was trying to go. with
Yeah,
that.
I still wish I could podcast from home with you. Is all I'm saying. It'd be great.
But I think you're right. I think a lot of the stigma around talking to people about D&D, or not D&D, just role playing games is in that term is they just don't understand. And honestly, there's been a lot of comedy series. I can't think of any right now. Oh well, IT Crowd.
Yeah.
IT Crowd basically is, they have a D&D night and they explain, they bring them in. They're like, oh, I really do like this. What was their,
Community.
Goldberg
Community?
just did one and Community did one.
Yeah.
There's-
Community's
Goldberg's just did one.
episode on D&D
Critical
is-
Role is currently becoming more and more popular. It's a video series where a bunch of well-known voice actors get
Oh,
together
yeah.
and do a game on.
Mm-hmm.
I've
It's
never
all
seen
over
that before.
Tumblr.
That's
I
awesome.
can't get away from it.
Brass Engine has on its slate of things to do this year a one-shot video that talks about D&D.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to say a whole lot, but
Breaking here.
let's breaking on username nerd because we are gonna do it.
Cool.
And I'll give you the title, but that's it.
Okay.
And it's gonna be called Gangstas and Dragons.
I like it.
I know we had
She doesn't like
She's
it.
shaking her head.
which we had toyed around with the idea of videoing an actual D&D session, but there is so much prep involved in a game like that too. It's just like, oh my god.
We're at 46. Do you want to wrap it up or we can keep talking? I don't care. I'm having fun. But I do want to go eat.
We haven't.
I will
talked-
admit we are very fun people.
You guys
Yeah.
are very. I
Yeah,
love.
yeah,
This
definitely.
has been a blast.
We haven't talked
9:22
about Captain
should,
America yet. We haven't talked about
Keep going.
Batman v Superman. I don't know. I don't care.
I'm fine.
Let's.
We
it'll
can
be
literally talk 4 hours.
Right.
So we're up to you.
Do you guys have any pressing questions for us?
What did you think
I
of
mean,
Batman
Captain
versus
America.
Superman?
Ooh.
That's what I want to know.
I'll see. I
Or we
haven't seen
could
it.
we could branch off the D&D a little bit because I do game design.
Oh yes, well, I want to talk to you about a game. But before we do that, hold on. Star Wars role-playing game versus D&D. We found it just being very, even though I love Star Wars more than anything else, very boring. Because it felt like we were just fighting stormtroopers or fighting this. Where D&D was this just magical world where you had all these different skills. Maybe we just weren't playing it right, or maybe we had a bad DM.
DM.
We've
We've already told
James
him.
will
It's
never.
fine,
Yeah, we've
whatever.
actually told him.
It's all good.
He's
I
a
told
brother.
him with
He's
his
another
face.
brother.
A lot of it has to do with the GM.
Yeah.
In our campaign, I kept it fun because one, I didn't care about canon. It's a game.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. And what the players wanted to do, I set it up so they got double crossed by a hut, and so then they kind of had a thing against huts, and they ended up killing and taking over Jabba's palace. Well, before they completely destroyed it and rebuilt it, I built a big conspiracy around all the characters that the main bad guy has something with each of them so that they will all have a grudge against this one bad guy. And so every once in a while, I distract them with stormtroopers and other things, but there's a driving story and plot that feels very Star Wars with maybe a little bit of, it's kind of more Shadows of the Empire, because it doesn't have the same feel as the original trilogy, but it has a little bit more mystery to it, and so it's all
it
about intrigue.
A little bit of different alternative reality where they destroy Jabba's hut. As they're walking away, Luke comes up looking to say Han no. Because anyways.
No, they killed him before Han even had the price on his head.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, yeah, cool.
So you just disregard canon. That means you and Disney have a lot of things in common.
He's
Ooh,
not
ouch.
happy.
Ooh,
He's
that's
not-
fighting words.
He's not happy with the
Wow.
whole canon.
Did you? Okay. So, what was your opinion on The Force Awakens?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was
Oh,
a very
okay.
good movie.
What did you guys?
I didn't
Adored
like.
it.
I didn't like the fact that they got rid of all the useless knowledge in my head that I knew to be
Oh,
true.
EU.
about
expanded
Star Wars.
right,
universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
like,
okay,
you
so
know,
so
could we-
so this is why I write fan fiction, because I can insert that back into my fan fiction. I've been name dropping characters from the EU into my stories. I've been trying to integrate mainly the X-Wing series of novels, Rogue Squadron and Wraith Squadron, those characters, just reintroducing them into my stories because it amuses me.
Okay, so
and
now
it-
we're talking about Star Wars for the rest. I think that's
Yeah,
everyone vote
sure.
for Star Wars for the rest
Sure.
of the show.
Okay, yeah,
okay,
we're
sure,
doing Star
fine.
Wars, I guess.
What-
I was gonna go somewhere with that. Gosh,
So you
dang,
guys
it all
did
just
like
goes out of my
The
head.
Force Awakens?
I liked it because now I wasn't totally overwhelmed the first time I saw it, because the plot is such a retread. There's once again a round super weapon. Once again, have to make a trench run. Orphan in the desert. All this stuff. So while it was a really good piece of popcorn blockbuster entertainment, I wasn't like, this is not the second coming. But then,
Yes.
but then I read that J.J. Abrams did that deliberately. He was trying to establish Star Wars after a decade of no Star Wars films. So he was sort of resetting us, and then they're saying Episode 8 is going to be a lot weirder, and they now have that anchor that they can go flying off into weird spaces.
I heard they're freezing him, Luke, in carbonite, and just kidding. I'm sorry.
None of that.
Sorry,
That
that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, it definitely felt very familiar.
But the reason why I adore it so much is because I love that finally there are non-white males in starring roles in Star Wars. Representation is a subject that is very near and dear to my heart as someone who's grown up as a geek and a nerd and has seen very, very, very little representation of people who look like me or share experiences with me. So it's super, super exciting to me that we've now gotten to a place in society where the most massive film franchise on the face of the earth feels like it's a good time to cast a black man and a Latino man and a woman as the leads of Star Wars. That's huge.
Yeah.
I love it.
And all of them, I don't want to say, but man, Is
this spoiler free or not? Are we?
No, yeah, this
No,
is totally
at this
spoiler.
point,
If they
Okay,
haven't
all
seen
right. At
Force
this
Awakens
point,
by
yeah.
now.
All right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I think they steal the show. I mean,
Yes.
they could almost.
They are the new trio.
They are just incredible. And I don't want to say they're better
them
than
and
the
BB-8,
trio, but
you know.
but I mean, I love Rey so much. She is, because she's not Leia at all.
No,
She is
her own character.
she is perfect. I mean, she is perfectly written, and the way she acts and the way just her mannerisms. I'm just.
Well, the thing
enthralled.
is, like, one, little girls growing up now have somebody other than Leia to dress up as and look up to. I love Leia, but as the lone female representative, it gets kind of like the boys get all these people to emulate, the girls get one. Anyway, but the other thing is how many male fans embraced her. That is just, I was bracing myself for a lot of backlash.
Really?
And there was very little, relatively. Like, everybody seemed to love her, including a lot of people I thought would not love her.
And I don't know why.
Not only for the character, but just the movies in general. I was bracing myself for a lot of
Yeah.
just, this is the worst movie ever.
We
yada,
came
yada,
in
yada.
I remember we were opening night. We came in and I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if this is bad. And that's why they didn't get rid of the EU. You know,
I know, they
it's
just-
still there. You can still love it.
It's
No one says you
Legends.
didn't have to
They
love
call it
all of
Legends
out.
now.
Legends.
Threw it away.
Well, okay, you can. Cracked, I think. Was it Cracked or BuzzFeed or one of those sites made a good point that, yes, technically speaking, the EU is thrown out of the canon, but it's very clear that the people who wrote the script of The Force Awakens were very steeped in the EU. Like, there are a lot of elements from the EU that have made their way into The Force Awakens. I am still sad there's no Admiral Thrawn. I want Admiral Thrawn. I want him. But
Yeah, well, we got General Hux instead.
I mean, he did a great job.
Yeah,
I,
no, he's
I
good.
liked him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you needed someone to portray a space Nazi, General Hux,
He nailed it.
He's your man.
That's for sure.
The other thing, I love that with Rey, they did not over sexualize her either.
yes.
Which I was like,
Yes.
oh, thank
Yes.
goodness.
No bikinis.
Because yes, exactly. And even she's on the new Tatooine.
The bikini's coming in the
I mean,
third
come
Yeah,
movie.
I was gonna say. To be fair, they didn't over sexualize Leia until the last
True.
movie in
Right.
the trilogy. So who knows?
Right.
Well,
it could be coming.
Yeah, but I mean, even on a hot desert planet, she still had some of her arms covered. It was
She's
just done
wearing
very
what a
well.
desert dweller would wear.
I also was really glad to see they didn't over sexualize Chewbacca because I felt like, I mean, in the first three movies, it's
There
just,
Yes,
was
very
a
true.
lot of hugging in the Force Awakens. Like, everybody
they-
wanted to hug Chewbacca. True story. Somebody from the cast said that they actually almost wore out the Chewbacca.
that's what
suit.
I
I've
heard.
heard that.
yeah.
So many people
Yeah.
hugged him.
wanted to hug him.
They've always sexualized him. He's not wearing anything,
No,
so I
that's
mean,
true.
No pants.
no
Got
pants.
that bandolier thing.
The other thing is,
Like the way he hefts his
I don't
bowcaster.
know.
Just
I don't know exactly what it is. I saw it on, but basically Han and Chewie go back to his home planet, and they open the door, and all of Chewie's family's wearing clothes, and he's like, "You've been naked this whole time."
oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
It
And
just
then
jogged my memory.
and then talking about Finn. Finn was hilarious.
yeah,
I mean, Han
He
Solo come in
was-
and he didn't skip a beat, but Finn was. I mean, it was because that was my. Go ahead.
Well, going back to the representation thing, like he did not fulfill any of the stereotypes for black men,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
which was just like there are a lot of really really happy black Star Wars fans out
Mhm.
there right now. Like they adore this movie
Donald
purely because of that.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald
Donald Faison is
Turkleton.
Oh.
Then from
Yeah.
Right.
Scrubs or whatever. He
Right, right.
loves.
And he has a series called Black Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I also okay, real fast. What about?
and I love Finn because he's a stormtrooper. Yeah.
The bad guy.
Kylo
oh my
Ren?
gosh! Yes, thank you. Sorry. oh my goodness, I could not remember the bad guy's name. Yeah, Kylo Ren. I loved the fact that you get to see him kind of lose his temper a little bit and thrash around, and to where Vader was so reserved, and even when he did strike out and force choke somebody, you don't get to see any emotion on his face, obviously. But I loved that fluent sort of bad guy. So I don't know.
I am definitely a fan of Kylo Ren. All the arguments against Kylo Ren, like, oh, he's just another whiny, character, and nobody's going to respect him. I'm like, the dude got shot with a bowcaster that was upgraded,
Yeah.
and he pounded the crap out of it so that he could work off the adrenaline and pain so
Yeah.
that he could kill people.
Yeah.
This was like one messed up dude.
Yeah.
This was not a whiny little turd. This was somebody you don't want to even be near because he might just kill you because you
For the fun
upset
of
him.
it, Yeah. He froze blaster bolts in midair.
Yeah.
that
Which
was-
is
that
something
was
we've
pretty
never
cool.
seen before. It's yeah.
And that was going back to Rey. That was the thing that was worrying me the most. I mean, not worrying me the most. As much as I like Finn because he's a stormtrooper, and he's fighting, Kylo Ren, and but then he falls short, and Rey picks it up. I'm like, okay, that is really cool because that I was worried they're gonna go into that. Okay, the guy saves
guy has
the
to save the
girl,
day. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why that is. You're right. I feel like we're in a new area where, and the other thing that really ticks me off is we have 2 kids, and when
And another thing
That
that
it really ticks me off is my 2 kids.
Oh.
But naming
Get
them,
rid of 'em.
I named them Star Wars names, and I'm like, if there's a female, I'm not naming my little girl Leia. I'm just not doing it. And my only options were Mon
Mara.
Mothma.
Mara Jade.
Skywalker, yeah.
No, my thing was it was Beru. It was going to
Yeah.
be Beru.
Yeah,
That was
that would be
That's a
pretty
nice
good, though.
name.
That's nice.
yeah, no, that was
What about
that was,
Breha?
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
who that is. Who is that?
Queen Breha. She's Leia's adoptive mother on Alderaan. She
Mm.
appears for like 2 seconds in the prequels.
See,
Yeah.
that's the problem. Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
the problem.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
that's why I love
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Just name her Ahsoka.
yeah, we could. Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing. So then the real question, if we're talking about Star Wars, is
We are really long.
I'm fine. The prequels.
So,
How do you guys feel about the prequels?
oh, here we go. Here we go.
Is this
Mixed.
going to start a fight?
Very mixed.
Do you want a fan's perspective or a filmmaker's perspective?
Why don't
Yeah.
Why don't I
both.
just give you?
I like that. Even
Why don't
better.
I give you my quick synopsis real fast? 1 was absolute hot street garbage, except for some few lightsaber fights. 2 and 3, brilliant, loved them. Especially 3. 3 is actually my favorite out of the entire trilogy.
Interesting.
Believe it or not.
I went to the midnight premiere for 3 with a bunch of my super nerdy friends. We showed up in cosplay in high school the day of and like swirled around in Jedi robes and then like skipped out of school at like 2 hours before it was supposed to end so we could go to the theater and get our seats, all of this stuff.
Oh, man,
So
I'm
so
really
so
old
my
now.
friends
I'm
are
putting together
super serious about Star Wars. And they're like, there's some emotional scene between Anakin and Padme in 3, and I look over and these guys are crying. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. I laughed out loud. I
Yeah.
think I probably made a lot of people really mad, but like, it was ridiculous.
That's funny
It
because
was ridiculous.
I actually shed a tear during that movie. Not during that part, but more when Anakin
When
and
he goes,
Obi-Wan.
no, I'm just kidding.
When Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting on the the
Yeah.
final fight, like that was such a powerful moment to me. I was like, right? Yeah, that really gets me where
I
live.
I
You
was
know what I
laughing
mean? I was like,
again. I'm
"Ugh."
sorry.
Man.
That the whole time he's just like, I hate you, and I
Yeah.
couldn't help but laugh.
See, for me in that scene, I wasn't even paying attention to Anakin anymore. It
Yeah.
was because I relate to Obi-Wan
Mm-hmm.
very, very much. When I was in high school, my first they had a superhero day at my high school, and I dressed up like Episode 1 Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked in, and all my classmates were just like, "Oh my God, he actually looks like him. Like he looks like Ewan McGregor. Oh my God, this is weird." Like and then when as I got older and my beard got more full,
Mm-hmm.
then I did an Episode 2 version, and I had long wavy hair, and it was brown, and
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody was like, "Holy crap, he looks like Ewan McGregor." Like, this is
This
weird.
is even weirder.
This is even weirder. This is crazy. So Obi-Wan has always been my favorite character throughout the first 6 movies, and
First
so for
6
that
movies,
1 through 6,
He was a ghost.
1, 2, 3, 4.
he was a ghost in
I guess.
I mean,
All
he was a
right,
ghost
fair
in
enough.
5 and 6.
But Ewan McGregor was only in 3.
I understand
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but Obi-Wan is a character.
Right.
Okay, so so that scene in Episode 3 was it was emotional for me because it was a guy losing his best friend
Yeah.
I
and
will
having
say,
to fight his best friend. So it was
No, brother.
I'm looking at the circumstances and I'm like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I will say yes. Ewan McGregor kicked it out of the park. He did the absolute best he could with the material that he had. So that like my issue was just that Lucas didn't know how to write character interaction and he didn't know how to direct character interaction. There's a lot of legends and stories circulating around about why the original trilogy is good, and that's because his wife was an absolutely amazing editor, and it was under her influence that he made significant changes to both the screenplays and the directing and the editing that made them what they are today. And they were divorced by the time he made the prequels. So she was gone, and then of course the other directors and whatnot, they're all gone too.
Yeah.
So it's all Lucas, and
He's surrounded by yes men. who
Hot
are,
mess.
Yes. My theory, going back to Obi-Wan, I just released a video
Oh, yeah, that's a good
about showing your kid Star Wars for the first time. And I go through the process, and I decided to show my 5-year-old on his birthday because he was having a birthday party and everything else. And he loves Darth Vader, and I've shielded him from everything Star Wars. Everything. He's not allowed to watch
To
any of
the-
the shows, cartoons, anything.
why?
To the point where he wants him to truly appreciate Star
Now,
Wars the first time he sees it.
He obviously, they're named Star Wars, so they have Star Wars toys and all kinds of stuff like that. But I wanted him to get the full experience and not know that, hey, this person's good or this person's bad. So it was a
So
very
it was the point
interesting.
where they knew of Darth Vader, but they don't know that he's a bad guy.
And so he was like 5 minutes in, and we only watched A New Hope, and that's it. He's not allowed to watch anything else. Maybe next year we'll watch a new movie, but I don't know why, I want him to appreciate it, I guess. And so the 5 minutes in, he's like, whoa, is Darth Vader a bad guy? And so I'm like, yes, he is, and everything else. And he's a kid that loves good things, and he doesn't like the bad people. He hates, but he just embraced it. He's like, okay, I'm fine with that. And so when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi are fighting at the end, him and his little brother just start cheering for Darth Vader. And when he cuts through Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're like, go Darth Vader.
Throw
And then
their
they
hands up.
cheer. And I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi as a kid until later on I started loving Stormtroopers. And I'm like, what just happened? Are these my children? Just
Very memorable.
yeah, I know. It was fun stuff. So yes, when going back to the original trilogy, I think the problem with the new ones was it didn't seem like there was any. They seemed like they focused one person for the funniness. It was either Jar Jar Binks or something like. Where the original trilogies, it felt like the comedy was everywhere.
Yes.
Leia made jokes. Even Obi-Wan Kenobi made jokes. It seemed like it was shared. They really worked together well.
They were more well-rounded human
Yes.
beings. They could be dramatic or comedic by turns because human beings are funny and serious by
Yes.
turns.
And I can't tell you one time where I thought Anakin was funny or Padme made a joke. I mean, it was, and I thought he learned his
Anakin
lesson.
and Obi-Wan had their little
A couple
vaudeville
times.
act going
Yes.
on sometimes.
There was
Which
one or
was hit
two
or
little
miss as
small
well.
jokes.
There's-
There's actually, I think,
Like, I think you'll be the
in-
death of me or something.
In the novelization of Episode 3, Matthew Stover sort of disdainfully references it. I think there's a sequence where they're in the elevators and they're fighting droids or whatever, and they make some really, really, really stupid jokes about it. And in the novelization, it's Count Dooku watching them, and he's like, they're going through another low comedy bit with
Yeah.
droids and elevators.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that whole beginning sequence there where Obi-Wan breaks the cuffs and everything like that, I remember I read the book and literally I was like, this is 10 times better than what they did in the movie. And I really enjoyed the movie as well. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
For me, the prequels, I'm one of those rare people that finds things to appreciate in every one of the prequels, including Episode 1. And it was after I read The Ring Theory for Star Wars. Have you read the Star Wars Ring Theory?
No.
Nope.
Okay, that's something you need to look into.
I don't know why I'm right now. Just
Summarize
listening to this
it?
again.
Huh?
can you summarize it?
So basically, the Ring Theory is the way that Lucas was telling the story is not linear. It's circular, and the stories work in concentric circles. So, like 3 and 4 is an inner circle, and 2 and 5 and 1 and 6, and if you look at Episode 1 and Episode 6, there are parallels, and they kind of rhyme with each
Sorry,
other.
Repeat that.
What?
Just
All of
you're
it?
blowing
What-
my
what
mind.
in
Just the last little bit. You said
Okay, so what are the parallels?
Yeah,
so
say the
one,
parallels.
one-
Which
one
one's
and
the parallels?
6
Right.
is in the outer ring.
Yeah.
The middle ring is 2 and 5, and then the center ring is 3 and
Okay.
4.
I would be.
Okay,
I could see 3
okay.
or 4, but 1 and 6?
The way the ring theory explains it, if you look at the plot in one direction, when the circle gets to the other side, then you have to look at 6 from the end to the beginning. And there are parallels with events that happen. It gets really specific. The thing is like 20 pages long on the internet. But if you look up the ring theory, it's very, very well researched. He
Okay.
uses screenshots and references to the movies and draws some conclusions based on, these are the things that happen in these two movies, and they are in the reverse order plot-wise. And he built this thing called the ring theory. And
Can we give George Lucas that much credit?
I was just going to say, is it just that Star Wars has been watched by so many people that there's bound to be?
Right, because
In
theories that
it's a
form
lot
out.
like Shakespeare. There are
But-
10 billion interpretations of Shakespeare.
But if you watch the
Or 3
behind the
words.
scene-
There's a lot of interpretations on 3 words.
Yeah.
if you watch the behind the scenes of Episode 1, there is a conversation that's happening that the camera catches, and it's really just kind of glanced over. Like they don't really talk about it, but Lucas is talking to some of the other production people, and he says, "We need to do this because the movie needs to rhyme." And he used that phrase a couple times here and there, but for the most part, it was just kind of glanced over, and not a lot of people paid attention to that. But the things that were happening in the movie needed to rhyme with the original trilogy. He actually said that. So he was designing the prequels to not only look and have a similar look in some ways, because the ring theory
I've got to look at this.
the ring theory also describes
'Cause
the color palettes. The color palettes of 1 and 6 are incredibly similar in certain scenes.
Whoa, 1 and 6. You're talking about trees, and then hold on.
There's desert, Tatooine's in both.
Yeah, you're right. Tatooine is in everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
even
And
Jakar.
The one constant in Star Wars is Tatooine.
Yeah.
Tatooine is in 6, and also in Episode 1 they were in a forest on Naboo, and it was very
That's why you
green.
got me. Okay.
And, yeah. So,
We're gonna-
just saying.
We're
Oh,
gonna
okay,
have to.
yeah.
We're gonna have to cut this short.
but anyway, yeah, check it out. It's. I thought it was a really interesting read. I thought it was really cool.
Well, not short, very long. What is there anything you guys want to any last little bits?
Do you have any plugs?
Well, I was
We
gonna say.
Plugged everything.
I
so-
know.
Yeah.
Is
Please.
there anything left you guys like? You really wanted to talk about something or push something or say that you really liked Captain America: Winter Soldier?
Yes, go
Winter
see it.
Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I made
definitely.
Captain America: Civil War. Yes, go see
Captain
it.
America: Civil War. Yes.
By the time this airs,
yes,
most
yes.
people probably will have gone to see
True.
it. But
Yeah.
If you are uncertain,
go see it.
go see it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Oh, definitely. It's worth
I
seeing it
didn't
in the
expect
theater.
anything less. to be
Definitely
honest
worth
with you.
seeing in the
In theater.
theater with the action scenes.
The Russos fixed Age of Ultron. Let's just put it that way.
I didn't have a
Cool.
lot of problems with Age of Ultron, but that's a
I
whole nother
didn't
conversation.
That is a whole other conversation.
I
For
didn't either.
for you two, then let me tell you, Batman v Superman, worth the watch, if only for two reasons. One, Ben Affleck as Batman is amazing.
I heard.
He saves that movie. Two, you will laugh.
Okay.
You might cry a little bit
Intentionally
too.
laughing? Like, are they intentionally trying to get those laughs
No.
from you? Oh, okay.
There's a lot of crying.
Okay.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll get a little bit of everything. So it's worth a watch. Worth a watch.
Okay.
Well, tomorrow is Planet Comic Con
Yeah.
when this airs.
Like, wait. Oh God, you're freaking me out, man.
Yeah,
No,
what am I
Are you-
missing?
yes.
I'm not ready.
So come by. You guys have a booth. We have a booth. So
Yep.
meet us there.
We make
YouTube
stuff. We
channels.
sell stuff. It
Mhm.
supports the filming. So
I'll take a picture of you
Gotcha. Of me.
yeah, why not?
if you come by.
Oh, of them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was like, yes, take it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead and you got something? Oh, you're just okay.
So
At usernamenerd.com. Go ahead. What are your YouTube channels one more time?
Go check us out at youtube.com/user/Brass Engine Productions, or you can just search for Brass Engine in YouTube and find us on Facebook, Brass Engine Productions.
And watch 3 words and put what you
yeah,
think.
leave
it
them
means.
comments.
Yes,
for sure.
please comment on our YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube. We would love to keep making videos, and we'd love to tell stories and have people that watch it.
Well, you guys have been so much fun.
You really have, yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
You guys, you know our catchphrase now, right?
Remind me.
Stay nerdy.
Hey,
I know the
stay
thing.
nerdy. Can
I
you
know
say
the
it since
thing.
since you didn't get to last time?
Stay nerdy.
Okay, stop. Don't go to the next YouTube video or channel or skip or don't do anything. Real quick, 5 seconds. We have 3 different channels. Please subscribe to them. Username Nerd News, username Nerd Comics, username Nerd Games. We have separated them out into 3 ones. Choose all of them or just one to subscribe to. You'd love it. I promise you, we'll give you great content. It'll show up in your feed. You'll love it. Just real quick click. It doesn't take but a few seconds. You'd be awesome. Thank you. I mean, you are really awesome. Thank you.